Today we're continuing the Assertiveness series, and we'll talk about the power of eye contact and tone of voice when speaking English. These two things, eye contact and how you sound, are just as important as the words you say. Hi, I'm Georgiana, and I'm back with a new episode of the Speak English Now podcast. The podcast that helps you speak English fluently with no grammar and no textbooks. If you want to help me, share the podcast with your friends and family. That would mean a lot. Thanks. On my website, you can find the 5 secrets to speaking English and my premium courses. Before we start, get the transcript. Visit speakenglishpodcast.com/podcast. Okay, let's start. Why do eye contact and tone matter? When you speak, people don't only listen to your words. They also look at your face and hear your voice. Think about this. If you speak with a soft voice and look at the floor, people may think you're unsure. If you speak clearly and look at the person, they will feel you are confident. Being assertive is not just about words. It's also about how you say those words. Let's start with eye contact. Eye contact means looking at the person you're talking to. You don't need to stare. Just look at their face naturally. If you avoid eye contact, people may think you're nervous, not telling the truth, or lacking confidence. But if you use natural eye contact, they feel that you're honest, you are confident, and you respect them. When you speak English, look up. Don't look down at your shoes or the table. This small change will help you sound more confident. Now let's talk about tone of voice. Your tone of voice means how you speak. Are you speaking loudly or softly? Is your voice going up at the end of every sentence? Do you speak quickly or slowly? To be assertive, your tone should be clear, calm, and steady. Let's look at an example. I think maybe I could try. This sounds weak. The person doesn't sound confident. Or you can say, I can try that. Let's see how it works. This sounds assertive, clear, calm, and confident. Also, avoid ending statements like questions. For example, I'm from Brazil? You should say, I'm from Brazil. When you raise your voice at the end, it sounds like you're asking, even when you're not. My advice is to speak with a downward tone. Speak with a downward tone at the end of a sentence to show certainty. Another example of downward tone. I work in an office. Instead, say, I work in an office. Or, I think it's a good idea. Instead, say, I think it's a good idea. Great! Here's a quick recap. How to use eye contact and tone to be assertive. Number 1. Look at the person you're talking to. Speak slowly and clearly. Lower your voice at the end of a sentence. Practice in front of a mirror or with a friend. These simple techniques will make you sound more confident and natural when you speak English. Let's continue with a point of view story. I will tell you the same story, but in different points of view. This will help you practice grammar in a natural way. Let's listen to the story in the past tense. Sofia worked in a small office in Madrid. One day, her manager asked her to give a short presentation in English. She felt nervous. Sofia had studied English for many years, but speaking in front of many people made her uncomfortable. She looked at her notes and whispered when she practiced. She avoided looking at her coworkers. The day of the presentation arrived. Sofia stood in front of her team, looked down at her paper, and started to speak. Her voice was low, and she didn't look at anyone. After a few minutes, her manager interrupted kindly and said, "Sofia, we want to hear you. Look at us and speak with a bit more energy." Sofia took a deep breath. She looked up and made eye contact with one person, then another. She raised her voice just a little and tried to speak clearly. To her surprise, people started to nod and smile. She felt more confident. The more eye contact she made, the easier it became. Her voice became steady, and she even smiled. When she finished, her team clapped. Her manager said, "Well done. Your message became much clearer when you looked at us and spoke with confidence." That day, Sofia learned something important. Words are not enough. The way you say them, your tone of voice, and how you connect with people, your eye contact, can change everything. From that moment on, Sofia practiced looking at people when she spoke and using a calm, steady voice. Her confidence grew with each conversation. Let's listen to the story from Sofia's viewpoint. Hi, I'm Sofia, and I work in a small office in Madrid. One day, my manager asked me to give a short presentation in English. I felt nervous. I had studied English for many years, but speaking in front of many people made me uncomfortable. I looked at my notes and whispered when I practiced. I avoided looking at my coworkers. Then, the day of the presentation came. I stood in front of my team, looked down at my paper, and started to speak. My voice was low, and I didn't look at anyone. After a few minutes, my manager interrupted me kindly and said, "Sofia, we want to hear you. Look at us and speak with a bit more energy." I took a deep breath. I looked up and made eye contact with one person, then another. I raised my voice just a little and tried to speak clearly. To my surprise, people started to nod and smile. I felt more confident. The more eye contact I made, the easier it became. My voice became steady, and I even smiled. When I finished, my team clapped. My manager said, "Well done. Your message became much clearer when you looked at us and spoke with confidence." That day, I learned something important. Words are not enough. The way I say them, my tone of voice, and how I connect with people, my eye contact, can change everything. From that moment on, I practiced looking at people when I spoke and using a calm, steady voice. My confidence grew with each conversation. Great! I love using stories like these. They're easy to remember and really helpful for learning English. A bit of humor also makes the process more fun and enjoyable. You can find more about this method in my premium courses. Visit speakenglishpodcast.com/courses to get my premium courses. They are designed for learning by listening. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Did you enjoy today's episode? Get the transcript now at speakenglishpodcast.com.